Get the person on.
Okay. All right, here we go.
All right. Good afternoon. I'm now going to call the Wednesday, January 10th, 2024 meeting to order of the Norfolk County Commission. On Wednesday, March 29th, 2023, Governor Healy signed into law Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, an act authorizing making appropriations for fiscal year 2023, which includes a 2-year extension of the option for public bodies to hold remote meetings by suspending certain provisions of the Mass Open Meeting Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20. That action was effective immediately, extending the current option for remote meetings through March 31st, 2025. Welcome. I'm going to ask you to stand. Join with me in saluting the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll do number 1 and 2, call to order. We did. Number 2 is roll call. Commissioner Stady,
I am present, sir.
Commissioner Collins. Present. And Commissioner Shea is present. We have a full quorum, as we do always.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21, subsection A, subsection 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation. If an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body and the chair so declares.
I'll second that motion as presented.
Motion made and seconded to go into executive session. I have declared
Roll call.
that open session would be detrimental to the trial. Roll call, Commissioner Stady.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Collins.
Yes.
And I'll vote yes, 3-0. We are in executive session. I may mention that we will be returning for the remainder of our regular agenda. Okay, Bill, if you'll make your adjustments.
We're in a license.
When he gives me the okay, we'll say hello, Mark, and go.
All set.
Thank you. We return to regular agenda of our Wednesday, January 10th, 2024 meeting of the Norfolk County Commissioners. Commissioners, your attention to item number 4 on the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move approval of the minutes of January 3rd as presented.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
We approve the minutes of January 3rd. Number 5 is appointments. We have none. Number 6 is public comment. Every meeting, we have a session of public comment, which we publish. Allow anyone from the public to come in and speak, or anyone out in Zoom land to comment. Director Mullen, have you had anyone come in today?
Mr. Cronin.
Chairman Cronin. I
That's
called
okay.
him Mullen. I'm
I
sorry.
consider it a flattery.
We were talking about him today. I'm sorry. That's flattering.
I like the word Zoomland, by the way. I'm going to use that tonight. Anybody out there on Zoomland? We
I
may have.
struggled with it, come up with it. No, I know. No public comment.
All right,
Last call for public comment. Anyone out in Zoom land?
great.
That concludes item number 6. Old business, I have none. Move to number 8. Broad personnel motions,
Consideration.
5 at the agricultural school commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, if you wish, I will
Yes.
make those motions. These are all at the Norfolk County Agricultural High School. First is the motion for a notice of resignation of Evan Maita of Uxbridge, Mass. As senior animal science foreperson at the rate stated, and that's effective January 13. I believe the superintendent informed us of that. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. We wish Evan Mayetta well. Next,
Next, Mr. Chairman, I move approval of notice of dress change for Lauren Frazier of Walpole, Mass. As a 183-day instructor. And that is effective on 1/1/24. So moved.
Second.
motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Next,
Third, motion to approve notice of contingency appointment of Madeline Becker of Marion, Mass. As a substitute instructor for the rate stated, effective 1/11/24. So moved.
Second.
motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Next,
Next, notice of contingency appointment for Caroline Troutman of Westwood, Mass. As a student worker at the rate stated, effective 1/11/24. 24. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor? Aye, it is a vote.
And the last one, notice a title change for Aline Cole of Douglas, Mass. as the varsity girls softball coach. And the rate is stated, the salary and the effective date would be 3/1/24. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
That concludes the agricultural school. We have one more of FMLA
Right.
request.
Just move approval of the notice of FMLA leave of absence effective 1/16/24. So moved.
Second.
On the FMLA, motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it is a vote. Number 9, payroll expense warrants.
Yes, Mr.
Commissioner
Chairman.
Stady.
Yes, sir. The warrant list for January 10, 24, we just have 3. Here's the first one. Move approval of 24-27, the county payroll, and we'll move approval of the amount $161,900.43. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
Second,
Next.
move approval of 24-27, parentheses 14, a payroll of the school. Move the sum of $369,262.02. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye. And
It
the
is a
final
vote.
one, the county expense, move approval of 01-0224, move the sum of $36,787.17. So moved.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Thank you. That concludes payroll and expense warrants for this meeting. Number 10, report on American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, Director Cronin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, for the commissioner's benefit, there are no grants for your consideration today for approval. However, there are 7 in the queue, FYI. In the prior weeks, I alerted the commissioners that every county in Massachusetts managing ARPA, including Norfolk County, would be in a position to notify their various communities of the status to close out the grant. Last week, on January 5th, I prepared a memo, which I believe is in your packets, that went out to all the cities and towns, alerting them that the county is very interested in making sure the communities optimize the funds that have been distributed to them and provide a plan, most importantly, to us by March 1st on how they intend to utilize these funds. Now, very briefly, communities have been, we have distributed over $96 million to virtually every community at this point. About 60% of those dollars are in grant applications that are considered advancement. In other words, we're giving them money in anticipation of a contract or good or service to be delivered, versus reimbursement, which is easier and cleaner. Those advancements create a bit of a problem because if they are future lending, and we're giving the communities money in anticipation of a project that hasn't begun yet, or may not begin, or months to come, as the window for the obligation period on the grant approaches, December 31st, 2024, we want to make sure that the community understands there's a serious risk here, that if you don't have it obligated, that you could lose that money. We want to make sure that they understand these deadlines. So in addition to getting a grip on what their plan is for those advanced funds, we're also looking for them to offer to us, what's your idea on any remaining funds against your allotment? Do you intend to still stick to a plan that includes achieving the expenditure of your goals before December 31st, 2024? Not expenditure obligation. So with all that said, it's important that we hear from them specifically because all the grant agreements that every community has expires June 30th. At least one community that was kind of news to them, but we need to reissue grant agreements to each community once we agree on these new plans. So it's kind of a reset button. We do intend to spend a lot of time and energy working directly with the communities. We're going to start that process on January 22nd. We're going to hold a Zoom meeting with the communities once again to deliver to them our intention to work with them towards awarding any remaining funds and so forth, but most importantly, give them a sense of customization as we approach the end of the grant. One final point, we don't know at this point how much money will be left unawarded, unobligated, unspent. The commissioners have made it very clear to all the communities that we want to optimize/spend all of that money. We don't want to give any ARPA money back. That's the goal. But in order to do that, we have to have a reasonable relationship with communities to be honest with us about what they intend to do. In the event that we see some amount of money surface or come back to us as surplus, we want to be able to have ideas within the portal, applications from communities on how they would use surplus funds. So the memo that I sent in does encourage communities to submit those applications. It does no harm to have them reviewed and assessed for possible award above their allotment. So there's a lot going on. We had a conversation last week with our team that included Bill Galvin, Bill Buckley, and members of Clifton, Lasser, and Allen to talk about the work ahead. It's going to be quite busy as we approach, especially the midpoint of calendar year 2020. So the memo that I sent out is up on the screen. I hope you saw it in your packet, and I'm happy to answer any questions the commissioners might have associated with that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Stady,
Yeah. A couple of quick questions. Thank you. First of all, nice job, John. I'm assuming this is being communicated to all town managers and finance people and things of that
That's my
nature.
question.
So they're going to be on top of that.
The
There'll be no surprises.
So the mailing list includes two people from each town, the creator and the approver.
Okay.
In most
So you have a
cases,
name, that's my point.
yeah, oh yes, in most cases, that is a town manager or finance director,
Okay.
one or the other, or
Okay.
both.
Yep.
But in some cases, town managers have delegated this role, so we'll rely on their internal communications to let their staff know what's going on.
So hypothetically, just take it as hypothetical. So Town X in Norfolk County has a project that hasn't, they just put something in the portal. And it's now January, of course, and they get it approved in February.
Mhm.
You're saying they have to have it completed by June or completed by December?
But they have to
Or do they
give
have to have
us,
it completed?
so let's presume for your example, that's an advancement. Right, it's an infrastructure stormwater pipe installation.
Yeah.
And if they come back to us and say, this work will begin in October of 2024 and
Right.
end on November 1st, 2024, it's 4 weeks.
Yep.
Well, first of all, the grant agreement says our relationship ends June 30th. So they're going to get a new grant agreement on explaining to us this new timeline,
Okay.
but the award specifically states the money will be spent from that advancement between October 1st and November 1st.
Okay.
Check the box, give the money, get a new grant award, off you go. Grant agreement, off you go.
But no money can be spent beyond December 31, even with a new grant agreement.
No, the money can be spent. So follow me. The December 31st deadline is simply the obligation period. So taking that example that we just talked about,
Right.
if that vendor said, I'm going to be doing the work in the summer of 2025, they can expend the money, but they have to obligate it before the end of this year.
Okay.
They have 2 years
Okay.
to spend it against the project.
I got it. Okay.
But again, this is all part of, we want to hear specifically in writing what the community's plans are. This is critical because it's basically it will be a contract financially. Programmatically, it's important for them to explain to us, what are you doing with the money? Because we have other needs. We have other places we can spend this. We don't want a community to be gliding into these timeframes and then suddenly saying, oh, sorry, we couldn't spend $1 million you sent us. We had a bad vendor or bad luck or bad weather or something like that. If we don't ask and we don't have a relationship with them to understand what their plans are, that sort of thing can happen. We want to avoid that. So the
In any
plan,
event, all the money has to be spent, not the obligation, has to be expended no later than December 30, 26.
that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. And then we have to have one close out with the treasury and
Right.
all that kind of stuff. Okay.
That's right.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, John.
That's right. And the commissioners, if you're interested in joining the Zoom that day, it is an off day for you. If you're interested, let us know. We can post you if you're interested in watching or participating.
What day is that?
January 22nd.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll let you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Number 11, ARPA warrants for approval, we have none. Correct?
That's right.
Number 12, bid openings, we have none. Number 13, contract awards today. We have none. Number 14, review of fiscal year 25 budget development and timeline. Director Cronin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, the FY 25 budget planning process is underway. Last week, I distributed to the department heads the guidelines and timelines associated with this development. Bill, if you'd be so kind to bring up the memo. In effect, the guidelines are very similar to previous years with a couple of exceptions. For FY 25, the county is asking departments to project an increase of costs of 2.25% for salary-related expenses. We are asking for a capital budget, but at this point, I cannot commit to the fact that the county will have a capital budget in FY 25. Currently, our revenues, as you know, from our spending and hiring freeze are restricting me to think that we will have a sizable surplus to close FY 24 that can be used to fund capital needs next year. So more on that later, monitoring revenue. But for now, the budget itself is going to go under construction by the department heads. Those budgets are due back to this office through Budget Sense, our online software, by February 7th. We are also going to engage in an effort to streamline or update, the current line items within the existing budget. We've looking back at the Abraham's Group recommendations and others, we've always found that a budget review or a budget modification is a good, healthy thing to do. If you're striving for readability and public access and people to understand what you're doing, you have to make it simple for the common person to understand what you're doing. So we're going to be trying to work on trimming down the number of line items, subtotals, and rolling up frequently used categories into summary categories and things like that. That'll all be done after the departments have submitted their budgets to you. It'll be more addressing the budget in my preparation for presenting to you and then the advisory board. So again, it's just evolution of the budget, trying to make things more streamlined and readable. Broadly speaking, the guidelines that were sent out included this following schedule. As I mentioned, the department budgets are due on Wednesday, February 7th. The reviews with the commissioners will begin on February 21st and the following week, the 28th. Public hearing notices will be sent out at the end of February and March for our budgets and also including capital. The department budget reviews with the commissioners will also occur on March 6th and 13th, which is when the commissioner's public hearing notice will include the budget as well. On the 20th of March, the public hearing notice for the Norfolk County Advisory Board will be posted. On the 26th, same for the hearing notice will be sent out on the 20th and posted on the 26th, pardon me. On the 27th of March, theoretically, the commissioners will vote on the FY 25 budget. Shortly thereafter, on April 10th, our Finance Committee and Advisory Board will meet to discuss, have a hearing on the FY 25 budget and vote on it May 15th. These timelines are virtually identical to last year's. That is your update for the FY 25 budget. Happy to answer any questions associated with it, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions? Those as close to last year as we can get.
Yeah.
And we're all on the same software pack.
We are. We're working with
Okay.
the Abraham's Group to try to, as I mentioned, be creative about minimizing or shortening the length of our budget and streamlining it. So folks will find it more readable. So that's all part of the process.
Thank you, John.
John.
15, report of the county director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have several items, but before I get into my list, I'd like, through you, Mr. Chairman, if I could ask Mr. Robert Pearson to approach the table to give the commissioners an update on the Norfolk County RSVP Volunteer Program Holiday Drive as it reaches a very
Great.
important milestone.
Come on up,
Robert,
Robert.
how are you?
Thank you very much, John.
Hello, Robert.
Well, hello, commissioners.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. One of the benefits of my job is I get to report only good news to my guy. And this is our fourth annual holiday drive
Right.
for active duty military. So what that means is we have a number of partner sites in the community that collect items for us. This year, the sites have been, in addition to our office, Medfield Senior Center, Norfolk Senior Center, Walpole, the Weymouth Veteran Service Office, and the Sharon Council on Aging. In addition, we had gotten a call from an organization in Walpole called Coastline Enterprises that produces salon products and education. What this means for us is that they're donating 2 pallets or 2,000 16-ounce bottles of shampoo and conditioner. So with our other items, about 2,500 items donated, that'll be about 4,500 items for our active duty military. As is our custom, on Friday, we will caravan down to the Sagamore Bridge, where Cape Cod Cares for Our Troops is going to meet us with the sheriff of Bristol County and his vehicles to be able to take all the stuff. Fortunately, the shampoo is going to be delivered on its own, so we don't have to lug 2 big pallets.
You have a caravan of about 5 to 6 vehicles now carrying the stuff that we collected. Is that right?
That's right.
It's quite impressive.
That's right. Although we realize we're not going to be following each other on the road, and everybody agrees to go down to Dunkin' Donuts to celebrate afterwards with some coffee and
You okay with that?
I'm fine.
Dunkin'.
What day is that, Friday?
Want to come?
I may see you. I'm heading down Friday. You never
Okay.
know. That's
Yeah, the
fine.
Dunkin' Donuts,
Yeah, I know exactly where you're gonna be.
Meeting House Lane,
Yeah.
Sagamore Beach.
Duncan.
Oh, can't beat Duncan.
So it's a treat. The folks that we donate to are thrilled
That's great.
that we do this. So that's my update.
Commissioner, this program started in November, Robert, is that correct, when the kickoff was?
Yes.
So it's
November.
This is our
This
5th
Friday.
year, huh?
Yes.
This time flies. That's very
Program.
nice.
Nice job, Robert, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert.
Keep up the
Thank
good
you
work.
all. Look forward to giving you more good news next
Okay.
week.
Keep it coming. Thank you.
Okay, we're on the report of the county director.
Yes, sir. The next item, the commissioners may know that one of the first ARPA awards you approved for Norfolk County was the purchase of testing kits. And from time to time, about 2 times a year, we've been purchasing a number of kits to distribute to employees within Norfolk County. The last round that we ordered, I think, was last summer. I want to call attention to today's Boston Globe, where a notice was sent out that the COVID wastewater levels are the highest they've seen in 2 years through the greater Boston area. It's another empirical tell of how the virus is still very much among us and creating or causing illness in our population and in our employees. So I've asked Nancy to order 100 more COVID tests. We believe they should be here by the end of the week. We'll follow the same distribution method, getting, I think it's 2 boxes out to every employee, except the schools with their own resource, using the ARPA.
Commissioner Cole.
And just so everyone knows, everyone who's in the county health plan, you can get 8 test kits. If you just go to the drugstore, just show them your
Show
card,
them your card.
you get it for nothing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. Because they're expensive.
Yes.
That's
So-
great. I just saw the
Okay.
same article this morning. It was in the Brookline News about the high wastewater numbers of COVID. So it's back strong, unfortunately.
So these resources will be prepared and sent out by our HR director as soon as they come in, likely next week. We're gonna do this. The commission should be aware, through our facilities department, the Dedham District Court elevator, which is funded for replacement and upgrade and put out to bid and awarded. Unfortunately, the elevator that we have has been deemed irreparable at this point. The motor died out earlier this week. Our facility manager, Mr. McGowan, spoke to Judge Pomerol and the clerk to have them agree that the elevator needs to be decommissioned at this point. The company putting in the elevator is expected to start their work next week, but it could be a number of days / weeks until an elevator is functional in the building. According to the justice and the clerk, they're fine with that, knowing that we have a plan. So it's an impediment or imposition, I should say, but nevertheless, we have the resources to get it done. So more on that later as it gets installed.
So we have to be sure to do the due diligence to keep the communication that the vendor knows
That's right.
I'm gonna hear that. Gotta rebid it, or, okay, yeah, well, we gotta keep it on high priority.
And then finally, I just wanted to review some milestones, some of which I've already talked about this afternoon, but to weave them into your collective calendars. The budgets are due back from departments on February 7th. Our ARPA workshop is scheduled for January 22nd. And I also want to alert the commissioners that our HR director, Michelle Labadini, sent out a memo to all department heads within the last week, providing them more detailed instruction and advice on how to handle the hiring process, the new hiring process that's in place as a result of your approval of the recent employee handbook. Furthermore, Michelle and her team will be conducting an HR hiring process workshop on January 26th, 2024, with the department heads in their respective staff. So everybody will get immersed into what is expected, how to use the forms, and ask questions. And that was all I have this afternoon for your information.
Thank you, John. Commissioners, any other questions of Director Cronin?
Just, did we need to move approval of the minutes of December 20th? I found it in my packet. Is that a mistake?
You'll have to forgive me. I'm under the impression we're up to date on that. If
Okay.
that's not the case, we'll bring them back.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, because the commissioner was not here last week, I just gave you the hard copy packet of last week's meeting.
Okay, thank you.
So
That
that's
was
what your
only-
files.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And just
Those
a
are all I
footnote, Mr. Chairman, I will be out on a scheduled day off next week. Mr. Buckley will.
Okay.
You're out too.
Excellent.
Ah,
Doing
Well,
business out of
we
the.
We'll have to hold up the fort.
No, we'll be fine.
No, we're fine. That's fine.
Okay.
All right, I'll move, we adjourn at 2:02.
Second.
Having no other business, motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.